fact, more than disappointed, feel betrayed or enraged, feel like suckers, feel like they've been taken for a ride. How could I possibly have supported that given what it became? A lot of people seem to feel that way. But do a lot of people seem to feel that way? Do they actually feel that way? Well, according to polls on CNN, 100% of MAGA voters still support Trump.
So Tucker Carlson just dropped a bombshell interview with his own brother, Buckley Carlson, who wrote Trump's speeches and supported him from day one. What makes this explosive is that Buckley is now saying Trump betrayed everything he stood for. This isn't typical Trump criticism. This is coming from inside the House.
Wrote speeches for Trump in 2015, voted for Trump 3 times. Knew people within the Trump White House, worked with the Trump White House, and all along that period, 10 years, supported Trump in public, not on television, which is easy, but in his own neighborhood, which was 100% Trump haters. That person is my brother, it turns out, Buckley Carlson, Uncle Buck, as he's known to us. And so we thought we would sit down and ask him, are we imagining this? Did the guy you supported from 2015 in the face of social sanction like you wouldn't believe, did that guy just betray everything you believe and the reasons you supported him in the first place? Are we imagining this? Is it real?
Buckley Carlson wasn't just any Trump supporter. He was a speechwriter who crafted Trump's populist message in 2015. Living in DC, where 96% voted against Trump, supporting him publicly took real courage. When someone who paid that social price turns against Trump, it carries serious weight.
So you were in the 4% of district residents who supported Trump, and you're a WASP, and that's the group that hated Trump most. How did you wind up supporting Trump in like 2015?
The 4.1% Trump support in DC reveals how isolated his early supporters were. WASPs traditionally opposed populist candidates who challenged their elite networks. Buckley's demographic background, establishment, educated, connected, made his Trump support statistically almost impossible, which makes his current criticism devastating.
So then we have 8 years of Obama, and it becomes pretty clear in the second term that like he hates the country he's leading. He really hates white people. Tons of whites voted for him. Tons of whites voted for him because he was saying we're going to get rid of race consciousness in this country and treat people as citizens and human beings, and we can move past the division of the disgusting civil rights movement thinking, and just anti-white, zero-sum. And that Grant Park speech was like, I didn't vote for him, obviously, but I was like, God, I hope this is true. It turned out to be the opposite of the truth.
Yes.
He just like hated whites. And so by the time that ended in 2016, like it was a different country.
This captures exactly how Obama's presidency created the conditions for Trump. Obama ran as a post-racial healer in 2008, then spent 8 years pushing racial grievance politics. The betrayal of that promise left millions of voters desperate for someone who'd fight back against elite anti-white rhetoric.
Can't believe it, he's a racist. My wife, totally non-political wife, goes, I like Trump. And I remember someone, and everyone, of course, likes my wife, but someone laughed like, oh, yeah, I like Trump too. And she goes, no, I really do. Like someone needs to stand up for, yes, I don't know, people who've been shafted, and none of them live here, but there are a lot of them in this country. And like, I like Trump. And people were enraged with her. Like the only time I've ever seen anyone mad at my wife, it's just like no one's ever mad at her, but they were mad and embarrassed. And like, I can't believe there's someone who in the room with me who could like Trump. And she, of course, like didn't even notice that people did. She's like, well, no, what's wrong with that? But that was the response that she got. You were already kind of a more, you brought your son to Episcopal school on a Harley Davidson. So like
the Kushner observation is crucial. Even in 2016, Buckley saw that Trump's son-in-law was running everything behind the scenes. This foreshadowed how Trump would prioritize his family's interests and donor class connections over the populist agenda his speechwriters were crafting.
I overlooked most of them or just tried to ignore them or whatever. And some of them I honestly enjoyed, his vulgarity or whatever. But
his sense of timing.
It's amazing. No, there's
ridiculous.
So much about Trump that's amazing. I completely agree. But the idea that Trump was a racist, it was be like, well, that's actually the one thing he's not. why are you calling him a racist? It's not even true.
Right.
What are you talking about? Trump is a racist. I don't know who came up with that. It's because they were race obsessed. That's why.
Right.
Because they really hated the whites.
This story perfectly illustrates the class divide. Buckley's apolitical wife instinctively supported Trump because she saw he was fighting for forgotten Americans. The elite rage toward her honest opinion shows how threatened they were by authentic populist sentiment breaking through their bubble.
But Trump did, and encouraged everyone else to take it, and then never apologized, even when it became clear that the vax had killed hundreds of thousands of people around the world. And it's never really been studied in this country, but we can extrapolate and assume it killed people I know.
Me too.
So
I know young men now who took it who have myocarditis and other heart
for
problems,
sure.
weird cancers.
It was poison.
Yes.
Look at the cancer rates, look at the fertility rates, like everything about it was a bioweapon aimed at us.
Yes.
And Trump didn't apologize for that. I don't know, all the things that I've just ignored or forced myself to ignore, whatever. My flaws come out as I remember all of this, and my shame emerges. Well-deserved shame. But
Putting that bumper sticker on his car in Northwest DC took genuine courage. While coastal elites virtue signaled their opposition to Trump, Buckley faced real social consequences for his beliefs. That background makes his current moral stance against Trump's betrayals even more powerful.
it's just killed too many people, and it made too many women infertile, and it's just the most evil thing ever, and it's still on the schedule. And it's so immoral. It's hard to believe this is even happening. But he did exactly the same thing. Again, it's my fault for not being like, whoa, that's a red line. I can't cross it. But he did the same thing he did on the Iran war. When I talked about the Iran war, you say, well, like, this is hurting all these people. He's like, you don't believe in the polio vaccine? Like, that was a good vaccine, don't you think? It's like, I guess I believe in the polio vaccine. I don't know. I mean, but that's not what we're talking about. The polio vaccine is a totally different thing. I mean, I don't even know enough about it, even though we grew up next to the Salk Institute.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that have to do with it? You mentioned Iran. He's like, do you think they should have nuclear weapons? No, I don't think, not for nuclear weapons in general, but it was a non sequitur designed to shut down the conversation.
This reveals Trump's core psychological motivation, ethnic and social resentment against the WASP establishment that never accepted him. Mar-a-Lago was literally built to give the Palm Beach elite the finger. Understanding this resentment explains why Trump ultimately served different masters than his supporters expected.
She texted Trump and she said, my son is getting threats because I've disagreed with you on the Epstein files. And Trump responded to her by text message and said, he deserves it. It's your fault. People are threatening the kid's life. And Trump says, no. You brought this on him. It's on you.
That's disgusting. It's outrageous. I didn't know that. It's terrible. It's terrifying too, actually, to be so tone deaf, to be so evil, but to also be so tone deaf.
So what, and then the war in Iran, which he clearly, had no plan for, wasn't enthusiastic about at all. He was fully aware of the risks. He was fully aware that it was a betrayal of his explicit promises for 10 years not to do this. He did it.
The vaccine betrayal cuts deep because Trump never apologized, even as excess deaths mounted. Cancer rates spiked, fertility plummeted, yet he still brags about Operation Warp Speed. For supporters who trusted him with their lives, this represents an unforgivable abandonment of responsibility.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like, in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people, and it was not intentional. That's all I'll say. But anyway, the question does present itself immediately, like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like, clearly there were signs of low character. We knew that.
Yes.
But it didn't, there are tons of people of low character who like outperform their character. It doesn't have to be.
Sort of the norm, actually, these days, I would say.
I've outperformed my character a lot. I don't have especially high character, right? But, you try to, whatever, you try your best. But But what was this?
This moment matters because Buckley isn't a fair weather supporter jumping ship. He defended Trump for a decade while paying real social costs. When someone with that level of commitment reaches a breaking point, it signals something fundamental has shifted in the MAGA movement.
So he's attacked, so he attacks Islam. Some of us stand up and say, probably shouldn't be attacking a religion. Oh, you're a Muslim, secret Muslim. You love Muslims. No, I like reverence, and I don't think you should attack people on the basis of their religion. Don't attack their religion.
Yes.
And all these like evangelicals are like, oh, you're a Muslim. The next week he attacks Jesus. Okay, because it's all connected, right?
Clearly.
Of course.
Well beyond money, obviously.
Well, right. But the one person he's never going to attack is Rebbe Schneerson.
Yes.
And, the Chabad leader who's passed, but who I'm not attacking, by the way, but who was regarded as the Messiah by many of his followers. I don't think Trump should attack him, to be clear. But Trump would never attack him. That's the one Messiah he will never attack. So, what is that? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. No.
It's totally cool to attack Jesus. Oh, it's a joke. I was saying I was a doctor. I heal people. Well, that's how Jesus described himself, by the way. You're attacking Jesus.
Yes. No, demonstrably so. He did that
obviously
on purpose. Yes,
on a Sunday.
Absolutely.
You're attacking Jesus on a Sunday. It's totally fine. But we all know, and again, I'm not asking that he attack Rebbe Schneerson. He should not. But he never would. He'd die first. So you tell me what that is.
The Laura Loomer incident was a moral breaking point. Trump told a mother that her child deserved death threats for her political disagreements. Combined with the Iran escalation that betrayed 10 years of promises, these moments revealed Trump's true character when tested.
Given the attitudes you've described, like total contempt for people who supported him, total reverence for or unwillingness ever to criticize people who are clearly opposed to the United States, do you feel personally threatened?
I think the backlash that we're going to see and whatever comes, the reaction from the lunatic left is going to be overwhelming. They may be disorganized now. That's the other thing we didn't talk about is that Trump's coalition that he put together, he had so demonstrably and definitively spanked, shamed, destroyed the left. The level of dispiritedness and disorganization among the left in November of 24 and December of 24. They didn't engage in any kind of retrospective, or they didn't try to figure out how they could represent the country or the party or fix the problems. Of course, they never do that. But
we're going to take this opportunity to help black people since we love black people so much. We're going to spend our years in the wilderness trying to elevate black people.
They didn't do that.
That never occurred to them.
They'll never do that.
They'll never do that.
But what they did do was they recognized that their political fortunes were dashed for some time to come because it was obvious. It was obvious that Trump had a total mandate to do the things that he had been, which is obviously why people are so upset that he didn't grasp the nettle and do what he said he was going to do, because he had such fertile ground to do it, and he had both houses of Congress, and he could have actually accomplished a lot more than just signing executive orders and closing the border. God bless him for closing the border. But why hasn't he, expelled the 50 million people who are here illegally?
Why are we still importing people? And they're announcing now we're going to import more people. We're going to give citizenship to the illegals that we supposedly were going to deport. Now we're giving them citizenship?
This level of moral accountability is almost unprecedented in politics. Most operatives quietly distance themselves when things go wrong. Buckley is publicly apologizing for his role and questioning whether the entire movement was manipulated from the start. That takes real integrity.